All right, welcome everyone. My name is Sandra Gonzalez, and I am your instructor for the online course. So welcome to our first set of office hours. Hold on one second. All right, here we go. Um, I have posted the link to the live hangout on YouTube. So please join us. We would love to have you and to meet you in person. So both Alyssa and I are on the hangout now, and it's just a great way to be able to participate live and to get to meet all of you before the conference. Okay, let me. All right. So congratulations on making it through the first 2 weeks of the course. I know tomorrow is the is day 10, but it counts. So keep up the great work in the discussion forums. I really appreciate seeing all of you supporting one another, giving great feedback and recommendations to your classmates. If you have already finished the online course and have turned in all of the discussion forum assignments, congratulations. Please do continue to participate and look through all of the other discussions from your classmates and give feedback to them as well. It's just a great way to meet your classmates before you get to the actual 3-day conference. If you find that you are falling behind, please reach out to me. The assignments that do need to be turned in are the discussion forum. So just concentrate on those for now. If the readings get to be too much, just skim through it and do the best that you can. The written assignments are for your benefit, and some of them do correlate with the discussion forums, but whatever you turn in, I will give you credit for, okay? So don't give up. We are here to cheer you on, and we want you to get the most out of this course as possible,
Just skim through
okay?
it and do the best that you can. The written assignments are for your benefit.
There we go.
And some of them do correlate with the discussion forum.
All right.
But
just let me know if you all need anything. Okay. All right, good. It's great to see. It's great to see you all on here. Okay, keep joining us if you're on YouTube, because we do want to see you live. What else did I want to say about your assignments? Oh, reach out to me if you need any help with anything. I just found out today that we are using the 5th edition. If you've received the hard copy, it is the 5th edition of the new business road test. So basically just find the right chapter, and the questions are always at the end of that chapter, okay? And then you will be able to answer the questions. All right. Just so you know how today is going to work, we're going to spend the first 45 minutes on YouTube. I'm going to review some of the concepts that you learned last week, and then at well, it'll be 6:45 on the East Coast. Then we're going to hang up on YouTube, and then we're going to switch to the telephone conference line. That number, let me go ahead and share my screen really quick, is on the first page of, let me bring up Moodle. It's on the first page of Moodle. So if you go to either day 1 or the course links, it's going to show up down here. Okay, so here's the orientation video. If you scroll down, it's right underneath the slides. So if you do need the slides to follow along, you can download it right here, or you can look at it later. But here's the telephone number and then the access code. And most of you will log in there before I even get there, but I just want you to know where this is at. All right, good. Go ahead and type in any questions that you have into YouTube, and I'm going to start talking about these slides. So both Alyssa and I are going to monitor the discussion forums. All right. All right, good. So let's talk about this. So this is probably the hardest part of the of the whole industry research and market analysis, or the industry analysis and market research. So here are some resources that can help you out. And all of these, they're in the slides, they're hyperlinked. All you have to do is just click on them. But the IVMF resource library, we talked about that during the orientation. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. It's also hyperlinked right here. But if you go to day 1, that's the easiest way to find everything. It's at the very bottom. right here under course resources. I'm going to go ahead and right click and open it up in a new tab. But if you haven't done so already, I would bookmark this library because it has a lot of free resources for you on every aspect of entrepreneurship. So later on, as you move further along in your business, these will be available to you for free. So there's a lot of videos, tutorials, as well as just resources in general, especially if you do pivot and you're trying to research a new industry. So that right there is available to you. The other resource I wanted to mention is the IVMF Entrepreneur Track. So let me go ahead and just click on this hyperlink. So this is a YouTube channel. So this is something that you'd probably want to follow or subscribe to as well. And it has a lot of, they bring in a lot of industry experts to speak about different topics. And some of the videos I'm going to talk about are actually right here on the VetNet Entrepreneur Track. So let's go back to the slides really quick because we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. The Kaufman Founders School, just for those of you who are real visual and you need something that you can easily recognize. I like these videos because they're very short and simple, and they address all aspects of wherever you are in your venture, whether you're a startup or you're trying to grow. So the Kaufman School, this is another thing that you may want to bookmark for later, okay? Just close out some of these so that this runs faster. All right, so here are the videos that you do want to watch sometime later that will help you with your business research and your marketing. The business research overview, this is actually on the VetNet channel through IVMF. Let me go ahead and, okay, so you won't be able to hear this, but she will walk you through all of the different resources that are available for you for free so that you can research whatever it is about whatever industry that you're looking for. Okay, this is one of the librarians at Syracuse. So I encourage you to go ahead and take a look at that one video at your earliest convenience. And then the other one that you want to look at, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit, is niche marketing. And again, if you click on this hyperlink, it'll take you back to that VetNet channel, to that particular video. Okay, so we'll talk about this in a little bit because this is going to be an important part of you getting some sales, is knowing your market and knowing it well. It's about being the big fish in a little pond. Okay, that's how you're going to capture your audience. All right, let's talk about the NAICS code. I don't want you all to get too hung up on this part. It is important because it is used for different purposes, but you might find later as you pivot that your NAICS code is going to change. And this again is going to depend on what your customers want. So the screenshots that I have here are for Firefox. And let me just show you really quick. So if you're going to do some research, I'm going to say childcare because Amy, this came up in the Ask the Expert forum, and I'm basically going to answer some of those questions online because it's a little bit easier. This is easier to do on Firefox. So if you're researching your industry, if you type in childcare and then IBIZ, because that's one of the reports I'm going to talk about, and then industry, what you're going to find are different results on each of the different search engines. So I just want you to be aware of this. So as you're looking for things, you're going to find out that you'll be able to find different resources. So here's Google. And then I'm also going to do Yahoo. And let's see what that comes up with. Okay, so on Yahoo, they bring up their results down here. So they're about 50,300,000 results for the childcare industry. And these are some of the reports for that. And then for Google, their results are up here. Two totally different algorithms, but with different types of results, all right? So just be aware of that as you're doing your research online. That's just a real simple internet search. There's also a different database for those of you, for those of you who are writing grant proposals. I'm going to type it in right here, just so you're aware of this. It's called Google Scholar, and it's a whole database with peer-reviewed articles. So if you're not just, not just if you're writing a grant proposal, but also for trying to think, maybe if you're doing some sort of contract that requires a lot of research, and you don't have access to a university library, this is available to you as well. Okay, so I'm going to type in STEM research, STEM education for K through 12. Okay, and then it'll bring up all sorts of peer-reviewed articles. So those are some things that are available to you as you're doing your industry research online. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. So, just choose a different search engines and see what you get. Part of the reason for this is that if you're going to request what's called an IBIZ industry report, sometimes your business counselors will need these different NAICS codes, because as a new venture, you will have overlapping industries, which means that you're creating something where you are competing in several different industries, and by having these different industry reports, you can piece together your competitive strategy. So IBIZ reports can be obtained through your local business counselors. I've had better luck with the SBDC and the SBA because they have more resources, and you can also get them from a university librarian. So I'm going to go ahead, for those of you who need to actually see this, who've never heard about this, I'm going to go ahead and take you to this hyperlink of what a sample report looks like, because this is going to be an important part of your research. Okay, of course, the most important part of your research is talking to your customers, but you do want to get an overall view of the landscape that you're competing in. So this will give you a sample report from the pet industry. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. And it's opening it up right here. So just so you're aware, it looks like this. It'll give you all sorts of information. Okay, so the pet care, or this is a pet food industry. This is the total revenue for that industry just in the United States. There are 13,000 businesses that are competing in that space, and this is the amount of profit that they're making. Okay, I know I'm going through this really quick, but a really good business counselor can go over this with you too. And then I'll talk about all the things that affect performance within that industry. So the main thing with the NAICS code is that you need them to be able to request certain types of reports, all right? So if your NAICS code changes, that's fine too. If you need to do a pivot, you do what you need to do to satisfy your customers and also to be able to run your business. All right, so we talked a little bit about the NAICS codes. Normally you would list one primary, either on your business registration, your website, and your capability statement, but you can have as many alternates as you want that you actually can perform in your business, and that can go on your capability statement. Okay, especially for those of you who are planning on going into procurement, not just federal contracts, but local, municipal, state contracts, as well as doing business with other companies like Fortune 500 companies. And there's plenty of examples of capability statements online, but these are the kinds of information that you would include. All right, and there is a class on that at the 3-day conference. So, and there are plenty of your classmates who are already in procurement, so it would be good for you all to connect with each other and learn from one another. All right, here are some more research tools, sizeup.com and census.gov. So we're going to go through that really quickly through the slides. But again, I've listed the link for the business research video, and that's right here, and you can bookmark that so that you can have access to those free tools later. And then use the nuts and bolts guide to walk you through the actual market analysis. Okay, so sizeup.com. Let me escape from here and go back and bring that up really quick. Sometimes this locks up my screen, but I just want you to be able to see it. So you'll type in your industry right here. Usually in every class there's a bakery, and I'm just making up. So make sure you choose from their drop-down menu, and I'm just making this up, this example up in Anaheim, California. And at this point, all you want to do is click continue. And I'm sure if you clicked on any of this, it'll bring you to the same screen. But this is what is in the slides that I've passed along to you. So when you get to sizeup.com and you type all that stuff in, it's going to map out all of your competitors within and I typed in Anaheim. Okay. And at this point, you can also choose from any of the other tabs and add more categories of businesses that you want to look at. But what I want you to really look at right now is the consumer spending. So now that we're in this area for Anaheim, California, you can also choose any of these other categories to see how much your customers in that area are spending for that category. So and the example that I used in the slides was the childcare, and I think I clicked on. Hold on one second. I think. Let me bring up my slides. What did I choose? I chose one of these. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up for you, just so you can have an example. Okay, I think it was household operations. So, and I'm going to use Amy's idea as an example. So under household operations, I chose babysitting, and then I'm going to choose it again. And you see how it changed? All right, so then it gives you the ranges of what people are spending based on the area. So this could influence your decision on where you want to set up your shop. If they're spending more money in the red area, you probably want to set up, and she's not doing a physical daycare. She's doing something really unique. You might want to set up shop somewhere in this red area. Or if you were catering to a lower income market, then definitely in the yellow. Okay, it really depends on who your customers are and who your customers are and where they're located. Okay, so there's a really good question here from Dawn. What about online competitors? Well, let me see. I've not really used SizeUp for online competitors. What I do is I just use the internet, and I type in my industry and characteristics of my market, and that's how I'm able to find out information about my competitors. For my industry, the best way for me to learn about my competitors is by going to trade shows. So Dawn, you're in the veteran service organization space. I think it would benefit you to also go to some of these conferences where they all hang out and learn from them. Okay. All right, good question. So that's how you use SizeUp. If you keep playing around with this, it'll give you all sorts of information. All right, especially if you want to find out more about your competitors. I think it'll give you information about their revenue as well. So even if you are online and you know that your biggest competitor is in a certain region and you know the name, you can still pull it up and find out more about them. Okay, either through SizeUp. What I usually do is type in revenue, that company name, and then it'll bring up some other search engine. Okay, or I'm sorry, some other software program that, like I think it was Zoom or somewhere else. I don't want to type in some company on here. I'll do it when we get into the telephone conference, and I can give you more information. So, okay, so Dawn, financial coaching and law. How about, yeah, revenue? I would need an exact name of your competitor, but let's go ahead and type it in since financial coaching law. Let's see what comes up. Let's type in industry. Okay, life coaches, financial coaching. So Consumer Warrior Project. This might be somebody that you want to research. Okay, warrior. I'm just assuming that this has to do with. Every time I hear warrior, I assume military. Let me see. What else could we type in? And you all can type in to the chat room as well, as much as you want. Right now, all I'm seeing is the YouTube Hangout. So Alyssa, if there's anybody on the Google Hangout typing anything in, just let me know. So financial coaching, law, industry, how about major players? You see how I'm using all sorts of different keywords to find what I want. So this will just take some practice. Maybe you all can start a discussion in the Ask the Class forum and see what keywords are real helpful for you all, especially when you're researching your industry. A lot of these keywords you're going to use over again as part of your marketing, because if you're finding that's where you're finding your best information to research your market, then other people are using that to find out about products and services for your market as well. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so life coaches, financial analytics. All right, I think we had more luck with this without the major players in there. So Don, what I would do if I were you is I would request the IBIS report for the financial coaching industry. And I'm pretty certain that your legal background is going to be a source of competitive advantage for you. Okay. All right, good. Good question. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to keep going with my slides. But anyway, you can print these out. You can save these, and it'll just serve as a reference for you as you keep researching your industry and that competitive landscape. So another question did come up in the in my forum. Thank you all who answered your classmates for me. I really appreciate it. I love it when students make my life easy. Okay, the census.gov. When you go to this site, let me see if I've bookmarked it so I can just jump to it. All right, I didn't, so I'm just going to open it up to census.gov. So this will give you broad information about the nation, what you want, and it's under data. Okay, I haven't used this in a while, and this and I had to basically push all the buttons. But you can also go to the business research video, and she's also going to walk you through the same thing. I think it was through here, and it was quick facts. So this should be its own button up here. So you just as a quick review, the census.gov to the data, and then data tools and apps. So those are the three things you have to remember, and then it'll bring you right there to quick facts. And then you can start typing in your area and then whatever it is that you need to know. If you kind of have a general ballpark percentage of kids, you know, whatever your demographic is. If you're doing the elderly, then you want people 65% or older. It's about 15% of whatever your state or local population is. Same thing if you're doing anything related to childcare, then that's 6.2%. And it's just an estimate, but it's probably not going to change much within like 1 to 3 years. You'll see bigger jumps within, 10 to 20 years. But 1 to 3 years, that's a good ballpark range, okay? So you're basically estimating based on these percentages that you see here. So when you get to quick facts, then you can type in your state, pick a state, anybody? I didn't even look to see where everybody was from. I'm just gonna say New York. And then for the quick fact, or the fact that we want, we're gonna stick with 2017. Or let's go ahead and do people under 5 and see what that brings up. Okay, so I think this is it. And then it gives you those estimates. I think it changed. But anyway, you get the picture of how to use this part. Okay, and then the other thing that you would want to look at, this is really hard unless you can find articles about your industry or are part of an industry association where it gives you buyer behavior. So I'm going to type that in. Buyer behavior for moms spending for childcare. And this is probably also on the census.gov website, but these are articles that that you can look up and get a general percentage. So consumer trends, becoming a mom, buying changes buying behavior. So if you're looking for articles, just make sure that they're reputable. Okay, Forbes, who else? Inc. And those will give you some good statistics. The Pew Research, Mintel. Okay, so about 51% say they question how things. All right. Anyway, but this is how you can research stuff online, and I would just actually write it out because you're going to forget. And at that point, it can be part of your business plan, but it can influence your whole competitive strategy. So when you find this research, just copy and paste and stick it into a Word document, and then you can use it later as you are developing whatever part of your strategy that you're working on. It can just be it can be about your customer profile, their buying behavior, your marketing, or your distribution channel. But just start getting it out there so that you can actually look at it later and share it with somebody. Okay, what's most important is that feedback, but that's where you can find it. The regional, local information is through census.gov. Okay, and so we covered all of this. I think this came up. I wasn't sure if this was from this class or from the last class, but there's always questions about funding. Here are some competitions if you're interested. Startup Compete is the big one. That one is through the Kauffman Foundation. It's basically a platform where you can look for investors or they can look for you, but that's where you would start up a profile if you were interested. Circular Board is mostly for women and it does the same thing. And then Street Shares, their grant competition is for the military. So veterans, service members, as well as military spouses and family members. For those of you who are looking for grant funding, trying to think, who has a technology product? The SBIR, STTR, those are sources of federal funding, and it's through different department agencies. And it kind of overlaps with grants.gov, and I'm going to show you that website really quickly. But there are some really good grants available depending on what you are doing. And let's go ahead and go to one of those websites. Okay, grants.gov. That's really easy to remember. So depending on what you're doing, there's some good sources of funding, and it's under Learned Grants. So if you just go to that page, and this will teach you everything that you need to know, but the main thing I want you to get out of this portion is the different grant making agencies. All right. So every government agency, like the USDA, the Department of Commerce, Department of Defense, they're all listed here, and they all offer grants. They all have grant competitions. And Alyssa just wrote that one of the VWise finalists is a VWise graduate is one of the finalists for the Street Shares competition grant. I know her well. They were actually applying for a farm loan, and that's when somebody from the USDA reached out to them and encouraged them to apply to one of their grant competitions. So that competition was one of these. It had to do with the whole farming thing. I can't remember the exact name of it. It was a value added grant program. But anyway, if you go to the actual department, then it's going to list all of their grant programs. All right. This will open up other opportunities for you. So don't be afraid to network, to share your idea, because this just opened up to them just out of the blue, and it just gives them more opportunities to grow their business. And their company is actually on the shelves of Whole Foods Market in that whole southern Georgia area, and they're trying to expand. All right. So there are a lot of exciting things that are out there for you guys. Let's go back to my slides. The other thing, I know there are some of you who, like Dawn, the different foundations, the affinity groups like Disabled American Veterans, the Kauffman Foundation, they all have grant competitions as well. So if you are doing something for those different groups that they cater to, keep an eye out for the deadlines for their competitions. There are so many out there, and it's just a great way to connect with other people and to market your services.
Hey, Sandra.
Uh-huh.
Do you mind if I jump in real quick?
Yes, please go ahead.
I also want to let you ladies know that as a graduate of our program as well, we often have our own pitch competitions that are just for our graduates or those within our network. So we'll definitely be sending you emails and everything like that when those arise. It's not all the time, but every once in a while we do get awesome opportunities like that to do either at a future VWise or at one of our other conferences. So we'll keep you in the loop as those arise as well.
Yes. You know what? This just reminds me. Somebody sent me an email about the pitch competition, and I apologize for not replying back right away. I want you to get back to Alyssa. She was referring to the pitch party for the conference?
Oh, yeah. If anybody has questions about that, let me know. I'm happy to answer.
Are they supposed to register ahead of time or just be in the room before it starts?
So that one is first come, first serve. We will be posting, or I will be sending an email that has a link to that pitch party. So just keep an eye out for the emails from me because it is ready to go. And we'll probably be sending that out next week just to get it all ready. But we have 14 slots to actually pitch your idea to. Her name is Isa Sarah Bay. She's amazing. She will listen to your 90-second pitch and she will provide you really pointed feedback right after you're done pitching. So it's a really good opportunity if you are interested in seeking additional funding to pitch your business and get some really, really good feedback about how to kind of fine tune it to actually win some money in a future competition.
Wow, that's great. You know what? When I went to VWise, I was in that room. I totally bombed my pitch, but I learned more by watching other people do theirs. And then, I ended up winning a lot later, but I had to work at it. So that feedback is going to be really important for you. Okay, I'm going to finish these slides really quick, and then we're going to open it up for questions. So whatever you need, it's all on here. And then you can just go to the different websites and just click on the different buttons. You're not going to hurt anything, all right? Okay, so we've talked about that. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and let me find this. All right, good. What questions do we have so far? Let me go back to YouTube as well. Okay, so I see a lot of exciting things in the discussion forums. What can I address right now while I have you online for about, wow, less than 15 minutes? We are going to switch to the telephone. Sometimes it's easier for people to learn this way, or it's however you learn best. Okay, we have a question here. Do you have to be doing a pitch to participate in the pitch party? Deanna, Alyssa, when I was there, we did not have to do a pitch.
No, you don't. So what we'll do is we're going to have signups. So if you're interested in just observing, we will have signups for that as well. So just click on the link when I send it out and you'll sign up as just an observer. And we have, because it is a limited space room, that's why we have signups for that. But it will give you the opportunity to kind of sit in and listen to Isa Sarah provide that feedback, which is, like Sandra was saying, just as awesome to sit there and listen to the other ladies and also Isa Sarah give feedback because she does an incredible job. And it might help you down the road if you come up with your own pitch. So no, you don't have to actually pitch.
Okay, good. Do you have a pitch ready? I encourage you to have a pitch ready. I went to VWise with just an idea. I didn't have a pitch ready and I really regretted it. But I mean, it didn't matter in the end. For me, it was just great validation that people were interested in e-learning and that I might actually have a viable career as an entrepreneur. What other questions do we have? How is the online course going so far? Is there too much information? Are you able to keep up with the homework? How can I help you? Anybody? Okay, how long for the pitch? Your elevator pitch should be about, what, 2 to 3 minutes. It's the time it takes to go up and down an elevator if you were to pitch your idea to a CEO or another business owner. So really short. Alyssa, do we have an example of the 90-second pitch template on the course files, in the course files?
I don't recall if they're actually in the course files, but if they're not, we can certainly put one up for you ladies to use.
Okay. That was a good question. Things that you normally cover in your pitch. Okay, your name of your company, and usually when you develop a pitch, it's designed for the audience you are pitching to. So if it were for a bunch of moms, you're going to use your copy, or your copywriting is going to use keywords that would appeal to them. Like, and I'm going to use a childcare example. Something about, we help moms with young kids have flexible childcare options in the convenience of your own home. Okay, you see how short that was? Let's talk about elderly care. We help families with what's a nice way to say this other than senior citizens. We help families provide a great living experience for their elderly parents. Who else? Who else wants to help out by either, giving their pitch, talking about effective pitches? Okay. All right. Anybody? All right, I'm gonna Dawn, you have already pivoted to merge your two law-related business ideas. Do you want to join us in the Hangout? Might be easier to talk about it online, or okay. Or we can do it on the telephone too. What else do you want to get out of this course before it ends next week? How can I help you personally? Anybody? And if you do want to, if you do just want to join in on the chat, the link is at the top, or I can post it again. Hangouts hasn't been loading. All right. Okay. Is it Kaltiki? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Your company is for elderly home care. Good. Very good. So for you, is it elderly home care in your home, or is it for... Okay, it is in your home. So it's an actual home for the elderly where they come and they live there and you provide that sort of assistance. Okay, so, all right. So we help families. Do you want me to help you come up with a pitch? Is that what we're doing here? Or in their homes? Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think of words that would appeal to your audience. We provide quality, dignity, service. It's whatever they want to hear in the comfort of your own home to help your loved one. Okay, so you would be creating a pitch to that effect. It's easier if I can hear you and see you, but it's fine. We can do it this way too. All right. Let me come back to that one, Kaltiki, and if you're able to talk on the phone after YouTube is done, then we can keep brainstorming that. But I would like you all to pitch in and help each other work through your pitches. Okay, it's easier to do it for someone else than it is to do it for yourself. I can't even do my own. I have other people help me. Oh, so Kivia, you are event planning, parties, events, and soirees. Let me create the perfect event for you. Super. Super. Let me create the perfect event for you. Oh, Katsuki, it's okay. Don't worry. We can do yours on the phone because we only have about 5 more minutes on YouTube anyway. Kivia, who are your target markets? Event planning, parties, event soirees. So I can definitely think, okay, so the soiree are adult gatherings. Are you doing weddings? Are you doing professional events as well? So you're going to have more than one pitch, and it's going to be designed for each different audience. Okay, so I hope that this is making sense. So you'll want to write them out. When you see Larry Broughton there, he has like a canned pitch. We help, and then you name your audience, and then you specify what kind of problem that you're going to help them solve. I hate it when, and then and whatever. So there's different ways to do it, but the main thing is you need to write it specifically for that audience and use certain words and phrases that appeal to them. Okay, they just want to see that you are helping them to solve a problem, and they're also sizing you up. Is this somebody that they want to work with? Okay, everything, yes, it is making sense. Okay, good. All right. We have 5 more minutes. What else do we want to talk about? Okay, so we've talked a lot about the industry research and market analysis. This will keep changing over time. Okay, so keep talking to your customers first. Their opinion is what matters most because they're the ones who are going to give you your money, and a lot of it is understanding what their needs are. There are, we've done the overall big picture, but what you really want to do is get out there and talk to your customers. So wherever they're at, you want to find them. If they go to these trade shows, you will be there too. Find the cheaper ones. You just want to get out there. You want to talk to your indirect competitors because they're the ones who are going to give you the trade secrets for that industry. So I've done that for my industry for a while before the first product was done. And my indirect competitors were the ones who told me exactly how my customers buy. They wait and they listen to all the speakers. Okay, so one of my markets are the homeschool market. So what these moms and these parents do, they go and they listen to all the speakers and they wait till the very end and then they go and buy curriculum. And so my indirect competitors are really excited to share information with me because they want me to design their e-learning. So there's some sort of synergy there. You're going to do the same thing, find some indirect competitors that you think would be a great partnership, and that's how you can find out all the inside stuff about your industry and do some sort of trade where you can offer them some of your services in exchange for them mentoring you. That way you don't have to give up equity early in the beginning. It's just some sort of, informal relationship where you can help them with whatever your area of expertise is. Okay. All right. What else? Okay, Lynn, can I sign up to view the pitches? Okay, good. Alyssa just answered that. So if you are just joining us now, Alyssa's going to send an email about the pitch party at the 3-day conference. So from here on out, we only have a few minutes. Just make sure that you are finishing up all the discussion forum assignments because those are mandatory. If you get behind on the readings or the written assignments, you can always work on that at your leisure later. This will help you to be a little bit more prepared for the conference, but more importantly, it'll help you to get the work done. We're trying to help you to get to the next step, okay? Because if we don't, who will, right? And you now have a great network of like-minded entrepreneurs who are also going to be a big source of support for all of you. Okay, good. So we have 2 minutes left. Is there anyone who has anything they want me to answer, to share? Any questions for your classmates or Alyssa before we move to the telephone conference? Alyssa, do you have anything?
Not really, no, but for you ladies, we will add that pitch template that she was talking about. I didn't see it in the course files. I went and did a quick check, so we'll just make sure that we get that up for you. I'll try to get up for you tomorrow so that you can take a look at that to start to shape your pitches. And then if you do come up with something, but you're not quite sure if it's what you think you need to be or where you need to be at, sign up for that pitch party because that's a great opportunity to get some great feedback on how to fine tune it and make it a really, really clean pitch. Sarah is phenomenal at doing that. So I just want to make sure that I will be sending everybody emails next week just to follow up with you, provide some more information, some more details about the conference. And then the following Monday, I know that's Labor Day, or Memorial Day, but I'm going to be getting out confirmation numbers for everybody. So you'll get that information as well.
Okay, good. I'm going to share my screen one more time because since we're talking about pitches, it's good to know who your different audiences are. So let me go ahead and just add one new slide down here, see if this will work. Okay, I'm going to pull up a table. Can you all see my screen? All right, so this is your homework. As part of doing your industry research and market analysis, I want you to come up with the different customer segments. People who will buy from you. I'm going to use Starbucks as an example. So when they started, they were really targeting urban professionals. We'll get rid of some of these. So those urban professionals were probably, they were college graduates. So let's say they were from like ages 27 to 40. They made about 40,000 on up. All right. So they were going to market to these people through their, and I found this online. So I thought this was the best example of a market segmentation. They were going to market to these customers using hip decor. What else? It was all about the ambience of the actual environment. Okay. And then there's, you know, social media marketing and everything else. So that was one of their customer segments. And then they had all these moms and kids coming in. So let's write moms, because it's a great place for these moms to get coffee, and then they needed a snack for their kids, right? So these moms are in their, we'll say late 20s to, I'm going to say early 40s. So how they market it, and these moms, you know, they have more disposable income. So we're going to say about the same range, anywhere from 45,000 on up. Okay. And how they marketed to these moms were in shopping centers, or it was basically the location, the real estate. Okay. And then for the kids, even though they weren't marketing to the kids, but the kids were an end user, they were the ones eating the food there. I'm going to put like the little snack foods. They had cookies, pastries, and other things. Okay. And for the moms, I'm also going to write rewards, the little rewards cards and everything else, and the app. So do you see where I'm getting at with all of this? Okay, so as you're going through your homework, I want you to think of all the types of customers who are going to use your product or service and start writing out the details about them. So if you're a brick and mortar, then you know all the physical things that are going to get them into your store. If you're online, then what other ways are you going to get to them? Okay, maybe through partnerships with other organizations so that they refer people to your website. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop sharing. We're a little bit over time on YouTube. And we're going to go ahead and switch to the telephone conference. So if you need that number again, go to Moodle. It's on the day 1, and just call in, and I will see you all there soon. All right. Okay, great. Great seeing everyone. And this video will be available online as soon as we're done. All right. Just give it about 5 minutes. See you soon.